Hello, YouTube. I'm back. As promised, posting every day for the next month. Yeah, anyway. So, when I last spoke to you, I told you that my friend Alex was coming, and he did. And then I caught a cold, so I decided, use what energy I had to spend some time with my friend, and this time not sticking a camera in his face. We had some nice conversations that I wish I had recorded, but we didn't, and we had a great time, just hanging out, and we had a second Thanksgiving actually, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, last time I was talking about how I've made this project out of writing down as many memories as I could, and then my friend Savannah in the comments, also a very good friend of mine, asked me if I had any memories from 1993 that I wished to share, and so I'm gonna see if that's the case. So 1993, I was 13. And I was at the start of the year I was in sixth grade, and by the end I was in seventh grade. And for anyone who pays close attention and does the math, they'll see that something is off, and that something is I was held back a grade in second grade. So that's a different story, different time period. It's actually my mother who held me back, and I can tell that story another time. But so yeah, I was in sixth grade when I should have been in seventh grade. But that's the year I went through puberty, and of course, this is the year after I made the video that I later, when I was 12, that I later used, and of course, in that video, I still sound, like a boy, and yeah, that year, oh god, my voice went to shit, and it was pretty awful, because like the year before, I started doing more theater, and I was put in a show. In 1992 they did a show for the 500th anniversary of Christopher Columbus, that whole thing, and so I was in a play that we did of that, and I had a really good role. I played Pinzon, the evil sailor, or I mean the sailor who doesn't believe in the mission, who tries to turn back. I'm actually the hero in that. Anyway, so, and I had a actual singing role, and I used a clip of that in one of the Bernard videos when Bernard is showing his reel, because I just thought that's a really strange thing for Bernard to do, to show a video of himself as a child. But that was so, yeah. So when I was 12, I was in that play, and then when I was 13, my voice changed, and they did some show called It Takes a Wizard, which I guess was some kind of, an adaptation of Wizard of Id. I don't know what it was, but it was like some stupid thing about a wizard. It was supposed to be funny. I'm not just saying that because I'm bitter, because because my character was the lone heckler, and all my lines were shouted from off stage. Like, I'm just literally just a guy shouting from off stage. That's how, I went from having an actual role to that. Just because, I went from being able to sing to not being able to hit any notes at all. And that was kind of humiliating. And I thought to myself, well, maybe this acting thing isn't for me. But what else? 1993, I remember, of course, I was still drawing Roy, the rabbit, at that time. But then something very profound happened that I had a huge influence on my drawing style, which was I discovered Bloom County, or actually Outland, as it was known then, or as it was the spin-off of Bloom County, which was not, for some reason, it was not publishing in any Maine newspapers. So I discovered it when I was visiting my grandparents in Maryland. And I started buying up all the books. And so, and it had such a big impact on the way I drew that the reason that I stopped drawing Roy, even though I make such a big deal in the video about it, oh no, I don't draw Roy. But I stopped drawing him just because it just didn't match my style anymore. My style changed, and he just didn't fit. He was already he was out of date, at least in terms of how I was drawing. So I went through a few other rabbits before I settled on a different one, Albert. Yeah, there's a whole history with the rabbits that I used to draw. And what else? Oh yeah, of course that's the year Jurassic Park came out. That was a big deal. Me and my cousin Lucas, who is now actually a film producer, but he used to visit every summer, and we'd always. For a while, we used to actually try to make a cartoon every year. We'd try to do something animated, and then sometimes we just would make a film, in our backyard. And that year we did something called The Sacred Toothbrush of Eden, which was just taking all of our in-jokes and just putting it into one, sort of unwatchable to anyone else film. And that's just one of those things. I wouldn't even put that on YouTube as a goof. More so because of my cousin, because I don't think he'd want it, and I just wouldn't even want to put him through that. But I can put myself through that humiliation, but I don't know. But also, there's just no reason to do it. Although there is a clip of that movie in the opening montage of a conversation with my 12-year-old self. That is the clip that I use to represent 1993. I'm pretty sure it's from that. And my cousin shot that bit of footage. So that footage was shot by a future Oscar-nominated producer. He worked on what was it? He's worked on a couple films that have been nominated for Best Picture, and also no, what was the big one? There was a really big one. Oh, that's awful. Why can't I think of the? Anyway, he's worked on some great films. I'm still sick, and my brain is not functioning properly. If I think of it, I'll say it. Oh, what else? So of course, because I started in 6th grade, so I graduated from 6th grade that year, and I remember the school principal retired that year, and all the teachers at the school just thought it would be a good idea to, at the end of the year, we sort of had this commencement, and his retirement gift that the entire school, I guess, pitched in for. We couldn't have been pitched in for, because it was pizza coupons. That was his retirement gift, which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, my parents are at an age now where if you give them a gift, it better be something consumable, because they just don't want any more stuff. To them, the worst thing in the world is something that just takes up space in their house. So maybe coupons, maybe that's not the worst retirement gift, but still, there wasn't even any good pizza in that town. This was a time, I don't remember what, I was telling my friend this yesterday, that I mean, all the local pizza was mediocre at best. That when they finally opened a Pizza Hut, and I'm not saying, I live in New York. It's blasphemous to say that any chain pizza place is any good at all, but it was leaps and bounds better than any of the other pizza available. So like when they actually opened a Pizza Hut in my small shitty town, it was like saying, wow, they actually care about us. So, but anyway, so yeah, so his retirement gift was pizza coupons, but that's not where it ends. They made us sing for him. And the first thing they made us sing was they took "Give My Regards to Broadway," but they retooled it. They give it new lyrics, so that we were singing about us. Give our regards to Tyner was his name. Oh, but then when we presented him with his coupons, they made us sing "Don't Stop Thinking About Your Pizza." Don't stop, it'll soon be here. And oh my god, the teachers thought this was so clever. I mean, they were absolutely beside themselves at how hilarious this was. And the thing is, I didn't even. I was 13. I don't think I'd even heard the song that was based on. But of course, now I can't hear that song without thinking of the time they made us sing "Don't Stop Thinking About Your Pizza" to our principal. Oh dear God! And of course, I think that's why this was one of the jokes that we weaved into our sacred toothbrush of Eden magnum opus, and so my cousins knew about this, and that's why I still remember this, because I told my cousins about it, and just a few years ago on Facebook, like one of them contacted me out of the blue and said, "What was that thing about don't stop thinking about your, why is that in my brain?" And I said, "Oh yeah, it's what we sang to my principal." If I hadn't told them, then that would be a lost memory, but there it is. I've shared it with you, and it's public now. Well, it only took me a few more days, but I made another video. We'll see what happens now. Ta-ta.